Did the old prophets actually meet angels on top of mountains? Or were they highly intelligent beings from a galaxy far, far away? Today, we're taking a look at 3 well-known sightings of UFOs. Because let's face it, we're not alone, and the evidence is everywhere.
Today, we'll be taking a look at the Nazca Lines, a series of ancient, gigantic sand drawings in Central America. No one knows for certain how they were made, but some claim that aliens had a hand in drawing them. If you're curious to know more, let's get right into the video. What are the Nazca Lines? Found in the deserts of southern Peru, the Nazca Lines are distinct white lines drawn against the red sand. The desert in that region is very dry and only receives less than an inch of rain per year. This has helped preserve the Nazca Lines for millennia. One thing interesting about the Nazca Lines is that they're absolutely massive. They form various shapes that can be seen from space. This includes trapezoids, straight lines, rectangles, triangles, and swirls. Some of these shapes are even combined to create unique drawings. Discovery. The shocking thing is that the full extent of these glyphs wasn't discovered until 1927. Before that, most people assumed the white lines were remnants of roads built by a mysterious civilization. In 1927, Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Cespi was making his way up a series of nearby hills. He happened to glance down into the valleys below and had a revelation. The desert lines weren't the ruins of ancient roads at all. They were a set of massive images and symbols carved into the earth. These symbols were so massive that they were unrecognizable from ground level. This began a century of investigation. Archaeologists and amateur enthusiasts alike scrambled to investigate the Nazca Lines. Were these drawings made by human hands, or did the Nazca people have extraterrestrial guides? Strange designs. A fair amount of debate about the Nazca Lines' origin stems from their strange designs. Quite a few of them are perfect geometric designs, which is weird. Did the ancients even have technology capable of drawing designs like that? Aside from that, the lines also depict what archaeologists call biomorphs. These are etchings of things in nature, like humans, insects, birds, fish, trees, and flowers. Curiously, some of these biomorphs depict strange creatures. One example is the biomorph called the astronaut. It's a human figure with a bulbous head like a man in a spacesuit, which is supposed to be one of their gods. That sounds a little suspicious, doesn't it? Swiss author Erich von Däniken thinks so too. Convinced that some of the biomorphs depict aliens, he popularized this idea in his 1968 book, Chariots of the Gods. How were the lines made? How were these massive Nazca Lines designed with such primitive tech? Theorists claim that they couldn't be made without being able to fly. This is because the designs look best when viewed from overhead. And of course, there were no planes or helicopters back then. Aside from all these, there's also the distinct light color of the lines. And how did these drawings even last thousands of years without getting erased by weather? This is another perplexing question. No wonder nobody's been able to figure out how the lines were made. One take is that aliens used their UFOs to carve the lines by flying high above the ensured consistency, while others believe they gifted the Nazca people with the required knowledge, technology, and instructions. Critics claim otherwise, though. They say the Nazca raked back the top layer of rocky soil. This soil, weathered for thousands of years, had turned a deep brownish red. Beneath it was light yellow sand, creating a distinct difference in coloration. As for the gigantic proportions, it's possible that they could have made small-scale models. The builders would then scale these models up using ropes and stakes. Purpose of the Nazca Lines. What's the purpose of the Nazca Lines anyway? Alien or not, these massive drawings wouldn't be made for no reason. Were they landing strips of runways for alien spacecraft? After all, alien ships would have needed somewhere to land, or they could have been signal beacons to attract alien visitors too. Another possibility is that the lines were star charts. Historian Paul Kosak proposes the hypothesis that these lines were related to astronomy. This is because they're aligned with the position of the sun during the winter solstice. To quote the book Mystery of the Nazca Lines, by chance, Kosak's wife, Rose, took a picture of him among the lines at sunset in June 1941. The sun was setting almost exactly at the end of one of the Nazca Lines. Kosak later said he and his wife thought they had happened upon the world's largest astronomy book. Johann Reinhard, a National Geographic explorer in residence, has a different idea. He speculates the geoglyphs may have been part of rituals meant to bring down rain. They would have worked as ritual symbolism to appease the Nazca gods. Who's to say those gods weren't aliens with advanced weather manipulation technology? Maybe all those disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle were a result of that too. Unusual mummies. Aside from their giant drawings, the Nazca also practiced quite a few interesting rituals. One of them was mummification. There have been several well-preserved Nazcan bodies found, some in unusual conditions. In particular, a few of these bodies had very elongated and unnaturally shaped skulls. It brings to mind the way aliens are often depicted. You know, the ones with gray skin and long heads. Why would human mummies have the same features though? It's possible they were hybrids, and even alien visitors given honorable burials. It makes sense if you think of the aliens as esteemed guests who provided knowledge. There was also a strange discovery in 2018. Researchers found a mysterious group of three-fingered mummies in the region. Each appeared human outwardly, but seemed to possess different internal anatomy from that of humans. According to a report by Dr. Konstantin Korotkov, the mummies were aliens. He apparently conducted DNA tests as well, with the results being unusual. These claims were never fully substantiated by the larger academic community though. Some skeptics also suggested the mummies were frauds, stitched together from multiple bodies and planted as evidence. Research is presumably still ongoing, so we may not know the full truth anytime soon. Nevertheless, the possibility of a shocking discovery about alien bodies remains. The Nazca religion. The Nazca religion also seems to point towards aliens being the ones responsible for their giant lines. In this religion, the primary god is called the Oculate Being. He is a flying deity wearing strings of trophy heads. The Oculate Being's body is also positioned horizontally with streamers flowing from it. Other common features include large eyes and a snake tongue. This description does sound rather similar to that of an alien. Shamans in drug trances were also an important part of their religion. They would commune with nature spirits to divine the future or ask for blessings. Interestingly, it's been found that the drug DMT, most commonly found in the South American tea ayahuasca, also allows users to see visions of otherworldly beings. Yes, this includes aliens. We talked a little about it in our previous episode on simulation theory. If you're interested, do check that one out too. What was the true purpose of the Nazca Lines? How were they made? Did extraterrestrial beings have a hand in it? These and many more questions are still being debated. We'll find the truth someday, but for now, the mystery remains. Make sure to comment below what your thoughts are. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to tune in next week.